Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. I often say that running a small business, becoming an entrepreneur has never been sexier. You know, when I was going to college, it was all about teaching you how to get a job and not get fired. And now, thanks to folks like Mark Cuban, Mark Zuckerberg, everybody wants to start a business. And in fact, people aren't even retiring anymore. They're just starting a new business. Joining me, Lin O'Neill. She is a longtime friend, and she is also the lead faculty of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses at DCCCD. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm thrilled to be here.
Okay, we were in the hallway, and you said, Jeff, free is a good word. And we have free for your listeners. Tell everybody what you're offering.
Well, actually, this is amazing. I just want to say, too, we're a nation of entrepreneurs. Farmers are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
They dealt with business issues and locusts. You know, I mean, there's the whole thing. But the free education, there are at least 3 free programs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have different deliverables. They have different thresholds, but they are all free. And technically, an entrepreneur or small business owner can take all 3. I wouldn't advise doing that at one time, but over a period of a couple of years. And that would equate in my costing to right around $200,000 in free education if you did all of them.
No kidding.
Did
wow.
I say free?
You
yes,
did.
Yes, I did. All right, good.
Don't delay. Sign up today. So why don't you describe, you mentioned 3 different courses that you can take. Why don't you describe them?
Okay, and let me talk about where the curriculum comes from and also what the threshold is.
Sure.
So the first one I'd like to talk about is called Scale Up. The curriculum was designed by the Kauffman Organization. It's being offered based on a grant that was given, or it was earned by, actually, the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Cool.
And the deliverable there is a full-blown business plan you can take to your bank.
Wow, that's
the
huge.
second one is, as you mentioned, the wonderful Goldman Sachs. Well, actually, all 3 of these are wonderful beyond belief. The Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, which is in 13 locations. In Dallas-Fort Worth, we have had it since August of, well, actually it opened. The press conference was in May of 2014. And we're in our 7th of 15 funded cohorts.
That's awesome.
It is. And the curriculum there was designed by Babson University, which has been number 1 in entrepreneurship for almost 30 years. It's pretty amazing. And the deliverable there for the entrepreneurs is a 5-year strategic growth plan.
Sweet.
The third is offered by the SBA. It started out being called E200. It has morphed into Emerging Leaders. This year, it is in 64 locations. Probably will be in that many again next year. The curriculum there was designed by Boston University, and the deliverable is a 3-year strategic growth plan. But let me talk about one other thing. With both the Goldman program and with the SBA, in the Goldman, the kind of underpinnings are access to capital. How do you apply for capital? How do you get a line of credit? Which bank should you choose? How's your CPA working for you? All of those kinds of things. The Emerging Leaders is about government contracting, and that could be municipal or state or federal. So at any level. So there are differences in 3, because people say, why should I take 3 programs? Well, that's why.
Right. Well, let's dig into one of them. You just mentioned government contracting, and we've got a new president coming on board. There's government work that is, it's the country's largest employer, is it not?
Absolutely. And 23, I know this makes some people crazy, 23% of each federal dollar is actually geared for small business. Sometimes for minority business, sometimes just a small business moniker. But there is money and work there if someone understands how to utilize that program. So that's what we're about.
Is it hard to find? I mean, is it right there on their laptop? If they want it, they want to find it. It's there. It
is. You're absolutely. That's a profound statement. It is there. There's the challenge is there may be so much of it that having a guide to help you figure out what's right for you. And, with all entrepreneurship, you need to know where you want to go.
Right.
Kind of like in Winnie the Pooh. Doesn't matter which road you take if you don't know where you want to end up. So
right.
Entrepreneurs need to get clear on that. And we help with that as well.
Well, tell us a story. I think it's always helpful if the audience hears a story of an entrepreneur that you've helped. Who touches your heart when you think about, gosh, had this person not come into one of these programs, who knows where he or she would be?
How long do we have?
I know.
Well, let me tell you about one that's actually getting a lot of press because he was connected up with Bloomberg yesterday. His name is Quincy Roberts. He has Roberts Trucking. Quincy is actually a highly acclaimed opera singer, and he's in the chorus of the Dallas Opera Company.
Sure.
Quincy was well on his way to a great opera career. His family had a trucking business for years. He had an uncle who was running it who died. And Quincy felt that in order to help his family, he needed to come back and do it. Well, he has significantly more than doubled that business here, and he's getting to sing opera as well. So all of the things that he loved and wanted to do have been in it. And he says that these programs, he actually went through the Emerging Leaders, and he's a graduate of the Goldman Sachs. So he is living proof of what happens with that.
Let's talk about the business plan, because some entrepreneurs have no idea. What is a business plan?
Well, it's a plan that talks to what your vision is, what do you want to do, why you, basically, and then it substantiates that, as an example, with your financials and with your succession plan and with your customer list. It sort of tells you about the order for doing that and what's to be emphasized. You know, as the economy grows and changes and morphs, you may want to emphasize something different this year than you did last.
Right.
And the other thing is that one of the things we help people with an awful lot is you want to be surrounded by strategic people. One of the great things about the Goldman program is they have more than 7,000 people in their alumni association. So if you want to start your business, a branch of your business in Oshkosh, we can probably help you connect up and do that, which is wonderful. So the business plan is a document that helps other people understand why you're creditworthy and why to follow your, in Simon Sinek's words, why to follow your dream.
So I know that just this past week since the election, bank stocks have been soaring because I guess there's talk that there won't be as much regulation. Will it be easier to borrow money for the small business owner in the next few years?
Hopefully, yes. I think, we'll have to see how everything shakes out. It certainly has been better the last couple of years than if you can think back to 2008, 9, or 10, when if you were a small business owner, you couldn't beg, borrow, or steal a line of credit or a loan. And that has eased. And our part of the country here, of course, is really an especially great place for entrepreneurship and small business owners. So hopefully, yes. But we need to teach entrepreneurs how to most effectively tell their story so that their funding is kind of a foregone conclusion, and that's our role.
And I know you're very passionate about leadership. Let's talk a little bit about that. You have a number of talks that you give to the general public, leaders in drag. You said status quo is not a happy place. Describe some of your thoughts on leadership.
Well, I think leadership is highly misunderstood. When I was getting my master's degree about 100 years ago, we had a formula that talked a lot about control. And I will tell you that paradigm has shifted dramatically. The control is with the workforce. It's with the talent. And so if you're going to be a good leader, you have to, and I know this has been said, so it can sound kind of trite, but you have to also be a good follower. And at no time in the history of this nation has it ever been more important that leaders actually do that. There's a great book called The Wisdom is in the Team. I believe that. We're seeing it play out every day in these programs I referenced. It's a huge advantage if you lead that way.
And we talk a lot about millennials on this show. Leading millennials is different than leading a baby boomer. It is.
Now, I do want to tell you that I'm a 73-year-old millennial.
You look great, by the way.
And thank you. And I will tell you that, as do you.
Thank you.
And I will tell you that I love millennials. They are the most socially conscious business owners we've had maybe ever. They are visionaries. We've helped to do that as a nation. We've created this group and said, you can do this. You get clear on what you want to do, and there will be help there for you, and you can make this happen. They will change the world of entrepreneurship. I, for one, am going to just love to go along for the ride. There is a natural leadership, in my opinion, that doesn't look like what we think of. It's not traditional. in most respects. But they're oozing leadership. And we need to capitalize on that group because that's where the jobs are going to come from. So if people don't want to be a small business owner, don't want to be an entrepreneur, then they need, find one, meet one, have coffee.
I love it. Okay, so we're out of time for this segment.
Oh, no.
What website should they go to if they want more information on some of the free courses?
Well, actually, let me give the 10KSB. It is because we are soliciting right now, and also the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber. Well, actually, all three of them are soliciting. Can I just give my website, and if they send it to me, I'll send it out to them?
Perfect.
Okay, so you can reach me at Lin, and that's spelled Lin, at futures-consulting.com. So Lin at futures-consulting.com. Put Jeff's wonderful name in there and say, heard you on Jeff Crilley, want to know about these three magnificent programs, and I will send you everything you ever wanted to know about them and more.
I love it. Boy, we're going to have you back. That was a great segment.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, a charity event that's making a difference, SIP. That stands for Stand, Inspire, and Provide. We will take a sip of SIP next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.